What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the program. After watching the movie this week, I got my phone set on mute. Because I'm not interested in taking any fucking ghost calls from any of these kids, all right? We're talking about The Black Phone from 2021. I'm Dusty Lane.
I'm Jason Mitchell.
And we are the Cenobites.
Hello?
I came for you. We have such sights to show you.
It was an excellent day for an exorcism.
I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in.
Play me.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was. This is God.
We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you?
Put your brothers into that door!
But sometimes that is better.
And welcome back to Oblivion. Here we are once again to talk about The Black Phone from 2021. Directed by Scott Derrickson, who also did Sinister, also starring Ethan Hawke and James Ransone, which is a phenomenal film. I'm sure we'll get around to covering one day.
Shit, yeah, dude, the lawnmower scene.
Oh, absolutely.
Directorial debut was Hellraiser Inferno from 2000, which,
Oh, really?
I mean, direct-to-video, if that says anything. But hey, Hellraiser anyway, so that's sweet. He was the writer for Urban Legends Final Cut.
Nice.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Fuck yeah.
Director and writer. Deliver Us from Evil. Writer-producer.
I've not had the pleasure on that one.
Me neither. He's got a short called Dreamkill that was in VHS 85.
Yeah, I got a note somewhere about that. It was, basically, it was in canon, like a follow-up to The Black Phone. So it has something to do with that universe. So we'll get into that too. But yeah, I mean, he might have explored a little bit. Like, he ended up fucking doing a Marvel film. And,
Oh, dude, yeah.
But, like, his roots are in horror, and he really, really shines in horror. And it shows through in this movie, too, I think.
Yeah, I got some notes here for uncredited script revisions, too, for
Really?
Dracula 2000,
Hmm.
The Messengers, which has something to do with Sam Raimi. I'm not really too familiar, though. Scream 4 and Poltergeist remake.
Okay, so what, he just, like, did a pass on all those?
I guess. I'm not really sure. That's pretty crazy. He's just affiliated with that shit at all, so.
Well, speaking of doing passes on things, this movie was developed from a screenplay by Derrickson and collaborator C. Robert Cargill, based on the Joe Hill short story of the same name. If anyone's unaware, author Joe Hill is the son of author Stephen King,
Oh,
if
shit.
you've heard of him, writing under the name Joe Hill because he didn't want success by riding on his father's coattails. You know what I
I
mean? Like,
gotcha.
I feel like that's pretty commendable. Studios involved in this one, we've got Universal, Blumhouse, and Crooked Highway, distributed by Universal. MPAA rating of R, runtime of 103 minutes. Setting is in North Denver, 1978. For plot, I got grabbers do be grabbing, but hold the phone. Help is on the way, dear. Finney gets by with a little help from his friends, who really make a lot of calls way too late at night. I don't care if you are dead, kid. Go to bed already.
I guess so.
But this really is just a standard serial killer thriller situation with some supernatural elements thrown in, but I think explored with some pretty extreme depth that we'll get into as our story unfolds.
Yeah.
Want to talk about the cast a little bit?
Yep.
We've got our buddy Finney Blake, our main character, played by Mason Thames. Gwen, his sister, played by Madeline McGraw. She's fucking excellent in this movie,
Yeah,
dude.
she definitely is.
The grabber himself, played by Ethan Hawke, apparently initially he wasn't sure that he wanted to accept a role as a villain, but Derrickson eventually convinced him, and he ended up leaving a voicemail on Scott Derrickson's phone accepting the role in the grabber's voice.
Oh, shit.
So that's a
Okay.
lot of fun.
Yeah, I kind of thought at first, I didn't know if this was going to work. That was part of the intrigue of seeing the movie was, Ethan Hawke,
Yeah.
you know, like in a
As a
weird...
bad guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good move, though, for sure.
We've got Finney and Gwen's dad, Terrence, played by Jeremy Davies. I was familiar with this dude when I remember watching this movie, and I was like, I know that fucking voice. Why do I know that voice? And it's because he voices the character Baldur in the newer God of War games. And he looks just fucking like him too. I don't know if that was on purpose. I don't know if it was a Toy Story situation where they kind of make Woody and Buzz look a little bit like Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, but Balder looks exactly like fucking Jeremy Davies in this movie.
Balder.
We've got detectives Wright and Miller, played by E. Roger Mitchell and Troy Rudeseal. They're the ones tracking down the killer here.
Yep.
We've got Max, played by James Ransone. We won't reveal who he is just yet, but
yeah, he's pretty cool.
yeah, I fucking love Max, dude. So funny. Robin, Finney's friend, played by Miguel Mora. Bruce, the kid he's playing baseball against at the beginning, by Tristan Prevong.
Bruce.
Billy, the paperboy, played by Jacob Moran. And as always, cinematography by Brett Jutkowitz. Phenomenal fucking job. And music by Mark Corvin. Phenomenal fucking job.
Agreed.
So, the story goes, Derrickson and Cargill wanted to adapt Joe Hill's short story, but Derrickson kind of struggled to expand on it enough to stretch it into a feature-length film, sort of shelving it for a while and turning his attention to directing Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. He had already directed the first Doctor Strange film as well. Mm-hmm. And lucky for us, he left that project due to creative differences with Marvel. And that film was, of course, to be taken over by Sam Raimi. They really wanted a horror director for that one, I guess. But now Derrickson was able to refocus on this, drawing from his childhood experience growing up in a rough neighborhood in suburban Denver, to complete the development of this adaptation.
Weird.
And when I say rough, I mean like fights all over the place at all times, on the way to school, after school, at school, a lot of neglectful and abusive parents, apparently. It was described as a blue-collar neighborhood with a lot of violence. So, I mean, who knew people in beautiful Colorado could be so angry, but must be the altitude.
Yeah. Say weird, yeah. I mean, I didn't think it really looked like a rough neighborhood. Definitely the kids were fighting and shit, you know. But
it definitely didn't look like an affluent neighborhood. It was just a regular ass fucking some burbs.
Right,
you know?
Right.
Allegedly, there was a story from Derrickson's neighborhood that he grew up in of a mother from the neighborhood that was raped, murdered, and dumped in a fucking lake, wrapped in a telephone wire. So, there you have it. Sounds like we're lucky to have Scott Derrickson at all.
Damn.
But let's get into it, man. We open with a new, at the time, Blumhouse logo. I believe this is the debut of this creepy, like, going through the spooky house with a bunch of spooky stuff in it.
Through the Blumhouse?
Yeah, and then through the Blumhouse, yeah. And then we end on the BH Productions logo, and I think this was the first movie they used it on. We hear some audio of some parents and coaches and announcers cheering on some kids at a baseball game, and God bless America. The first image in this movie is of a Coors Light can being opened and a sip taken out.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. It's one of them old style tops, too.
Mm-hmm. Drinking at a children's baseball game, though? I don't know if that's necessary.
I mean, baseball is in the air. The beer is flowing,
Baseball is baseball. I don't give a fuck who's on the field.
The beer is flowing. I thought this was America.
I guess in this town it is. But as we zoom in on this game, the movie tells us we're in North Denver, 1978. And man, just a couple states over, we got old Mikey tearing it up, too.
Yeah.
I wonder if him and the grabber would get along, dude. Somehow I doubt it.
Nope, not the same realm for me. I'm sorry.
A little boy named Finney comes up to the pitcher's mound and sets up. We see his sister and friends in the stands. And he looks up with some fire in his eyes as he prepares to pitch against this kid named Bruce Yamada at the plate.
Don't want to fuck with Bruce, though.
Right. He strikes him out twice, and his little girlfriend Donna's watching him pretty closely. They share a little look, and we cut to Bruce, who's super pissed at the moment, having been struck out twice.
Oh, yeah.
Finney throws his next pitch, and Bruce cracks one over the fence, and his whole team chants his name as he trots around the bases, kind of taunting Finney.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it, man. So close.
Yeah, he hits a fucking home run, man, and it's he probably had the best night of his life. You know what I mean?
Honestly, yeah.
At first.
Yes.
You know?
I think that's actually verbatim what I say about it because it's so fucking sad. Oh my God, we'll get into it.
Right.
But Finney looks back over his shoulder at Donna, and she's already moved on, walking away with her friends. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, it looks like Finney doesn't get the girls.
Fucking
you know?
hate you, Bruce.
But I like that Bruce ends up being a good sport here, too. You know, it's not typical for kids. At least I wouldn't think so.
Right.
You know, in your face.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, as he's trotting around the bases, he kind of like smiles at him and points. And,
right,
you know,
but it's all in
kind
good
of shit.
fun, yeah.
But like when the teams line up and do the whole post-game high-fiving and good gaming and shit, Bruce walks up to Finney and he's like, "Hey, dude, man, your arm is mint. You almost had me."
Right.
And they shake hands and walk away. Yeah, don't forget the almost part, though, Finn.
Right.
As they part ways, the movie DJ puts the needle down on Free Ride. Fuck yes.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Who doesn't love that song? And yeah, dude, like we were talking about, this is one of my favorite fucking scenes in this movie. Because Bruce is riding away on his bike. Free Ride is just the song in his head right here. He's fucking pumped, happy as shit, having the best goddamn day of his life.
Right.
He's riding by folks and waving at the mailman and shit. He rides past a couple chicks and they both wave and say, "Hi, Bruce." And he rides past and they all turn around and check each other out. Meanwhile, Finney still hasn't left the fucking baseball field. He's too busy trying to fire a rocket into space. And looks like he does a damn fine job. He got a good kid, apparently. This thing goes shooting into the fucking stratosphere.
Right.
And when it comes down, that might be another story, probably on some poor guy's work van or some shit. But no, I really love the editing here because we hear the rocket pop and Bruce looks over his shoulder to see like a little guy on a parachute pop out of it and start to float down.
Right.
And like I said, Bruce is having the best fucking day. And then all of a sudden, this black van pulls up to the corner of the intersection he's about to ride through. And it's got something written on the side of it, but we can't see what that might be just yet. And we'll have to wait to find out how this plays out because this shot fades out into our credit sequence, which includes some shots of the Denver skyline and the surrounding area, the city proper, the suburbs. Then we see all these missing posters up all over the place telling us more and more about these lost children.
Yeah, this is a pretty crazy montage.
Yeah.
Ends up being like kids getting hurt, you know, like putting Band-Aids on.
Yeah, like a skinned knee, like they're taken care of.
Right, but it all like builds up though, because we end up getting like crime scenes and there's like you said the posters of the missing kids, empty swings.
Shit keeps getting more and more intense here. Like we get the images of the kids at play at first, another baseball game, and then the kid cleaning up his skinned knee, and something else I want to save until our wrap up at the end of the episode. There's a pretty ballsy choice made here that will kind of piss you off once you hear what it is. But the way they cut a lot of these images together, it starts to look like a fucking Romero movie because all of a sudden a bunch of kids are bleeding from various wounds.
Right.
And one even wipes away some blood from her mouth.
Oh.
And then we start to see items that belong to these kids just discarded in the street as if they just vanished and left their stuff right there.
Right.
We see the missing posters for the local paperboy, which is a clear reference to a real-life child abduction case that's still unsolved today. We'll get into a little later. And the missing poster for Bruce Yamada is shown right here as well. So it looks like Bruce never made it through that intersection.
Yeah, damn.
We see a bunch of these missing posters fluttering down through the air, and another shot shows a black balloon floating away over a roof. And then a whole bunch more float past, appropriately a telephone wire, like one of the big poles with 19 fucking wires on it.
Right.
Now, I know I just went through a lot of info for a damn credit sequence, but listen, there's a whole lot of important imagery here that will pop back up later in the movie. And like I said, another detail of which I want to circle back around to at the end. So that sequence ends. We come to rest looking at a modest little house in a suburban area. Inside, it's time for brekkie. Get some breakfast going here. We get a shot of what's on the counter, and it looks like some cornflakes, milk, and a whole bunch of empty beer bottles. America.
Yeah, fuck.
Importantly, no picture of a missing kid on the milk carton, though. Apparently that didn't happen for the first time until like 82 or 83. We'll talk about that a little later too.
I don't think I ever even seen that growing up. Did you?
I don't think I did. There might have been an instance or two, but I don't really remember.
Like, I never had paper milk carton to have.
I don't really remember having that either. Maybe sometimes, but it was mostly that like gallon plastic jug.
Yeah, I'm thinking we weren't quite old enough to catch that.
Maybe.
I was never sitting at a breakfast table and there was a picture of a missing child on a milk carton next to my, you know what I'm saying?
Well, apparently it didn't work that well, so it didn't last that long.
Right.
But Finney's sitting at the table while his dad Terrence grabs some coffee and flips through the paper. We get a very pointed shot at his shirt and tells us he works at the Rocky Flats nuclear facility. And when he opens the paper, oof, more bad news. It's Friday the fucking 13th, 1978. October.
Of course it is.
Fucking stay home, everybody. But Finney takes one bite of his cereal and slurps it a little bit, and his dad lowers his paper and gives Finn the iciest fucking stare since Jack Nicholson, and says,
dude, yeah.
"You think you can slurp that a little louder? I don't think they can hear you up in Boulder." Jesus, man, lay off the fucking booze and maybe you won't have to worry so much about the sounds of your kids surviving.
Yeah, they're tiptoeing around because he's got a fucking hangover.
More on that later.
Right.
Finn's sister Gwen walks in and goes to grab some bread, and she kind of drops the front door on the bread box, and it bangs on the counter, and it makes Dad wince again.
Yeah.
And she apologizes immediately, but like, goddamn, dude, these kids having to walk on eggshells around their alcoholic dad. They live in fear every day of fucking sneezing too loud or some shit.
Right, yeah. Shut the fuck up!
Yeah, what a home life, man. But Gwen shares a look with Finn, kind of making fun of their dad a little bit, just between the two of them, and they have a really good sibling relationship. Maybe out of necessity, they have to watch each other's backs in that house.
Right.
But we see them walk to school, and they're talking about which Happy Days characters they would marry, I guess. And Gwen's like, actually, no. Fuck Happy Days. I'll stick with my original plan and marry Danny Bonaducci. Finney's like, dude, you're not going to marry a member of the Partridge Family. Let it go.
Bonaducci.
I like the slang Gwenny uses here. She's like, he's so crucial. And Finney stops because he sees another missing kid poster that apparently wasn't there before. It's of Bruce, of course.
Bruce is missing. Again.
Obviously, Finney recognizes him. The poster says he's been missing since July 18th.
Damn.
Holy shit. The newspaper said it was October.
Wow.
That's a dead kid. You know he ain't gonna make it.
Right. If you're not caught in the first 48 hours.
Yeah, 48 hours, and it's been, what, 4 months?
Right.
How long is that? But Finney asks Gwen a very interesting question. You don't think they're gonna find them, do you? She answers, well, not how they want to. So apparently these kids both seem to think that Gwen is some sort of clairvoyant or something. They keep on walking to school and a fight breaks out right in the middle of the street. There's a ton of kids surrounding it. This huge kid they call Moose is squaring off against a much smaller kid named Robin. And Robin's standing his ground during the shit-talking portion here. And Moose is like, I'll pound you like a nail, you scrawny little beaner. Oh, whoa, hey, whoa. And Robin's like, all right, bitch, then do it. And Moose swings on him. Robin ducks it and then proceeds to beat the dog shit out of this kid.
Oh, yeah.
Punches him into a signpost, fucking roundhouses his ass.
I think you got trained by Mr. Miyagi.
Either Mr. Miyagi or fucking the Ultimate Warrior, because he does a fucking weird wrestling move on him for some reason right here.
Sick.
And then Robin gets on top of Moose and pounds this kid's face in. Just hit after hit after hit. Punches this kid in the face like 20 times.
Yep.
His face is covered in blood, along with Robin's hand. And finally he gets up and walks away. But Finney's already grabbed Gwen and told her to come on, let's get out of here. She's like,
Right.
fuck that. I want to see that kid get his ass beat. He's an asshole. Finney goes, man, I don't care. Nobody deserves a beating like that. So we're introducing ourselves to our character like he's an altruistic sort of, main protagonist that we should hope and believe in,
Right.
He's the good guy. Gwen reminds him of the time Moose beat him up, and he's like, yeah, I know. I was there.
Right. Yeah. Don't you want to watch him get his ass kicked then?
She's like, well, he was dumb to pick a fight with Robin Ariano. He's the toughest kid in school since the grabber got Pinball Vance Hopper. Dude, what a cool fucking nickname. This sounds like a superhero.
Sounds like he stinks.
He looks like he stinks when we see him later.
He's got a sick vest.
Oh my God. Finney's like, dude, don't call him that. And she's like, what? Everybody called him Pinball. And he's like, no, not that, you fuck. She's like, yeah, I know. But look, dude, even the papers are calling him the grabber. Apparently they've been following the story about the missing kids and linking it to a potential serial killer in the area.
It's a terrible name for a serial killer.
Why? He do be grabbing.
They all grab him.
I know, but no one has ever said anything about any of the other ones in that respect until now.
This guy is the diddler. 'Cause he diddles. Which...
The diddler. The Batman villain, the diddler. Finney's like, fine, just don't say his name, all right? And Gwen goes, you don't believe that story, do you? He doesn't really take kids that say it. And he's like, yeah, I know. She goes,
really?
All right, cool, then say it. What are you, chicken? And apparently that's a line you did not cross with kids in Denver in 1978 because the energy gets sucked right out of this conversation, and she apologizes right away.
Damn.
They walk out of frame, and that black van that we now see says abracadabra on the side drives into the frame right behind them. This must be the grabber kind of casing victims.
Right.
Going around, and he's fucking the wet bandits, like in the van, fucking just like taking a look around at the neighborhood, and like, these are everybody's habits and schedules and shit.
Let's see. I'm gonna grab that kid. I'm gonna grab that kid. I'm gonna grab that
Ooh,
kid.
I'll take 2 with that kid. We cut to Finney science class where, man, if this teacher is not Joe Hill, then they definitely got somebody who looks just like him to play this role. He's explaining about the different layers of the Earth's surface while Finney plays with his little rocket flashlight thing, staring over at Donna. And she feels him staring at her and looks over at him. And he looks away and she gives a little smile. Aw, they like each other. And class lets out and Finney hauls ass out of there. He shoots out the door. He's the first one in the hall, and we see pretty quickly that he's trying to get through before this fucking bully sees him. But this dude's already leaning up against a locker waiting for him.
Yeah, he's fucked. Which, I mean, whatever you gotta do, but do you think that if you got, at least when you're in school, you got 3 people trying to kick your ass, don't you want to be out in front of some of the teachers or something to stop it?
Yeah, you would think going to a private place is the last thing you want.
Yeah, you don't want to go hide in the bathroom and then get your ass kicked in the bathroom. You know,
Kids
The
make
fuck, Finney?
some pretty silly decisions, I guess. But yeah, this bully, fucking Henry Bowers over here, and his buddies stalk after Finn, and Finn tries to ditch him by running into the bathroom, and he goes to the last stall. He stands up on the toilet, hoping they won't see his feet. No such luck. They have his number. They walk in and call out to him. It's 3 against 1, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And Finney's pretty small as well. But Finney comes out, and they immediately launch into the standard insults like, "Oh, what are you doing in our bathroom? It says boys, not F words." Dang it. Luckily, just then, Robin walks in with his knuckles still dripping blood. Turns out teeth are pretty sharp, especially moose teeth.
Yeah, moose teeth. Yeah, I think this is pretty bitchin', man. He kind of flexes on him like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Mm-hmm.
Comes in and washes the blood off his fucking hands.
Yeah, he says what's up to Finn while he rinses his hand off, and the bullies try to leave, but Robin stops him, saying, "Hey, you fuck with Finn again, and I fuck with you."
Mm-hmm.
And these kids all just got done watching him absolutely decimate Moose.
Right.
So they scurry out of there with their tail between their legs, and Finn thanks him. Robin starts taping his knuckles up, and Finn asks him why he turned Moose into such a bloody mess. And Robin explains that the dude was talking shit, and Robin thought he would back down, but Moose surprised him by swinging first. But after that, he felt like he had to make an example out of him. And with a crowd like that, the more blood, the better. Sends a stronger message. Hell yeah. Amen, Robin. But then he changes the subject, and he's like, "Hey, man, saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre Friday night," and he asks Finn if he saw it.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
And he's like, "No way, dude. That's rated R. My dad would never let that happen." Man, fuck this dude's dad. But apparently Robin has a cool-ass uncle that takes him to the drive-in so he sees everything. But he's like, "Look, dude, that movie is the best movie out of all the movies."
Agreed. Yeah.
I figured you might.
Well,
And you know what?
next,
Probably in 78 I would have too.
Next to Enter the Dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, best ever, better than Enter the Dragon. Okay, maybe second best.
You like some kung fu, man.
Finney's like, "Oh man, well, maybe I'll get to see a Bruce Lee movie one day if it comes on TV or something." I also noticed here Robin has a Cheech and Chong shirt on.
Nice.
And Robin asks Finn if he wouldn't mind stopping by after school to tutor him in some math. I guess the teacher talks too fast and Robin can't keep up. But the idea of Finn tutoring Robin comes full circle in a pretty cool way later we'll get into.
See, I was just kind of like, oh, that's why he's sticking up for him, you know?
Right.
Must be helping with his grades and shit.
I mean, among other things, he's also just a good dude that doesn't fucking pick on people and doesn't stand for bullies doing the same, you know?
Right.
But we cut to Gwen in math class, and this is where I noticed how bright yellow everything is surrounding her. And if you pay attention throughout the movie, all of our main characters have color schemes that surround or represent them. Like, Gwen is always yellow. Her outfits, the lighting she's framed in. Finn's color is blue, like his shirt and his baseball uniform. Robin's is like an orangey brown, and for the brief time he has in this film. The grabber is always in a lot of black and red, of course. And I always find it interesting when filmmakers choose to assign colors either to locations or characters to represent something a little deeper regarding what their inner character would reveal. Keep an eye out throughout this one and you'll see what I mean.
Yeah, I did not fucking notice that. I definitely noticed some yellow with her, but I don't know if I really noticed like the hue, but it was like her outfits.
Every fucking outfit was yellow. Her room is yellow. The light streaming into it. Every time you see her on screen, she's just bathed in fucking yellow.
Yellow.
But as Gwen sits there, someone comes in to collect her and takes her down to the principal's office, where a couple of cops are waiting to talk to her. The principal introduces them and says, "Gwendolyn Blake, this is Detective Wright and Detective Detective Miller."
Detective White, Detective Blue, Detective Pink.
They've come down to talk to Gwen about Amy Yamada and the fact that apparently Gwenny told her that she had a dream about her brother being taken by a man in a black van, or in a van with black balloons. Oh shit. And the cops start grilling her about it. Like, what else happened? Who else knows about this? Turns out they found 2 black balloons at the scene, and it seems that she's the only one that knows about it. And they also found another black balloon at the scene of Griffin Stagg's abduction. So, since the cops never released anything about those details, that could only mean one of 2 things. Either there's a leak in the department, or Gwen is the grabber. Dun, dun, dun.
She calls them dumb fucking fart knockers.
Dude, oh my God. I love the way she starts laying into this cop. She's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You think I abducted Vance Hopper? He got held back twice. I've seen him fight. Trust me, he could kick the shit out of either of you blindfolded." But she's like, "Yeah, I took him down because obviously I'm the grabber, you dumb fucking fart knockers." I lost my fucking shit when she did that, dude.
He got
when was the
held
last
back
time
twice.
you heard fart knockers?
Beavis and Butthead.
I I know this movie takes place in the 70s, but buddy, that sucked me right back to the 90s, which I'm pretty sure is the last time I heard that word.
Oh, yeah.
But Detective Wright says, look, there must be something you're not telling us. She says, well, you see, me and my grandma, we call it shining. And
yeah, fucking pretty much.
she kind of timidly tells them that sometimes her dreams are right, which I appreciate the way she says that because it's the most childlike she seems in this whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
One of my chief complaints of this movie is how grown up all the kids are the whole time. Like, sure, they're mid-adolescents going through puberty and stuff, but there isn't a single kid in this that we see much of them just being a kid. They all talk in a pretty grown-up way,
Right.
carry themselves as if they're older. Hell, even when Finn is playing at a fucking baseball game, he's up on that pitcher's mound all intense and shit, trying to close out Game 7 of the World Series.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, none of them get much of a chance to be a kid, perhaps, growing up in this neighborhood. Again, very blue-collar. They've got the threat of a serial killer looming over them. Maybe they live in a house with a single alcoholic parent and they're afraid to make noise around. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Probably a lot going into it, but almost none of these kids are just kids. But right here, in this moment, Gwenny says, sometimes my dreams are right. Not they come true. Not sometimes I have premonitions, but just a very kid-like delivery of, sometimes my dreams are right. You know what I mean?
Right.
We cut to after school on the walk home, and Gwen and Finney see those bullies from earlier, and they're not messing with them right now because they're afraid of Robin coming to tune them up if they do.
You fucking ginger kid. Fucking asshole. He's like, there he is.
It's like looking in a mirror, wasn't it, Jason?
Yeah. Fucking fucking hate him.
Only that ginger had hair.
Yeah, it's true.
Gwen ends up saying she's staying at her friend Susie's house that night. I guess she does that every Friday night. And Finn says, oh, okay, I'll look after Dad. Man, that sucks.
Yeah. Sorry, Finney.
I wanted to point out the sick-ass poncho Gwen has on. Fucking, it's got them tassel thingies all over it. Super 70s. She says she'll be home in the morning, and you better not eat all the ice cream, fucker.
Can't make any promises.
We cut to later that night when Finn's dad is passed out in a chair next to the fireplace with a beer bottle falling out of his hand. And we got some soft blues music drifting across the room. Finney walks up and takes the bottle out of his hand, turns off the record player and the lamp, and immediately runs out of there, straight to the freezer for that motherfucking ice cream!
Shit,
Get
yeah.
fucked, Gwenny! That shit is mine!
It's Friday night. I'm getting ice cream drunk.
I'm getting chocolate wasted. Finn is sitting on the floor watching the William Castle movie The Tingler from 1959 starring Vincent Price. This was one of Castle's films that he marketed with a gimmick, and he was the fucking king of movie gimmicks. When this film was in theaters, in certain ones, he implemented a system called Percepto, where he took a bunch of airplane wing de-icing motors from World War II and wired them up under certain seats in the theater, and at a certain point in the movie, everything would go dark, and Vincent Price's voice was calling out through the theater that the Tingler was loose. Oh no, he says in this portion, ladies and gentlemen, please do not panic, but scream. Scream for your lives. The Tingler is loose in this theater. And then the projectionist would hit the buzzer, sending a jolt through some of the seats in the house to suggest that the Tingler was crawling on them. And the idea was that the screams would paralyze the creature. Pretty fucking cool. I wish I had been alive to experience the golden age of cinema, man.
That's fucking crazy.
That would have been so sick. But that's also the idea behind the Thriller, like particularly the music video for it. They're in the theater. You've got Vincent Price doing his whole monologue ending and, you know, the Thriller.
Mm-hmm.
Dope shit, I think.
Hee.
It's also pretty cool in this movie that it's shot in black and white, but the sink and the bathtub have bright red blood flowing into them. I'm pretty sure at this point in film history, shooting in color was the norm, for sure through the 60s. Like, in 1960, Hitchcock shooting Psycho in black and white was more of a budget thing than anything else.
Right.
But we have movies as early as, like, The Wizard of Oz in 1939, maybe even earlier, I'm not sure, shooting in color. So that was yet another gimmick William Castle employed for this movie. But Finney's sitting on the floor watching it. He's got his trusty little rocket flashlight, as always.
Mm-hmm.
And an arm shoots out of the tub covered in blood, and Finney's freaking the fuck out. He covers his mouth and glances back at his dad, who's kind of stirring in his chair. He doesn't want him to see him watching a fucking scary movie.
Yeah, don't wake up Dad.
And I love the shot of this old-ass TV he's watching it on. That's another thing I have to give points to this movie for. The overall aesthetic is very cozy and, like, 1970s autumn, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Everything from the set design to wardrobe to the lighting, it all looks really, really nice. We cut to the middle of the night. Finn has fallen asleep on the floor. The TV was on its station sign-off screen. And the next morning when he wakes up, he is woken up by the sounds of his sister fucking screaming.
Yeah.
He shoots up off the couch cushions he laid on the floor to sleep on and runs down to see his dad screaming at Gwen and beating the shit out of her with a belt.
Yeah. Damn. Totally fucked.
Jesus, man.
Turns out the cops came to his work. Same thing about her talking to the cops at school, pretty much. Kind of checking in, you know.
Right.
She knew that information that nobody else knew, so the cops want to know what's going on, but drunk dad don't like that, you know.
He does not want the cops showing up at his work for any reason.
Right.
And Finn yells to him to stop, and Dad holds the belt up to him, saying, "Shut the fuck up, stay out of this."
Yeah, you're next, you little fuck, is pretty much what he implies.
Right. We'd certainly call this abuse by today's standards, but in 78, I guess that was just called parenting.
I mean,
way more common back then.
I'm not saying don't spank your kid, but they don't deserve 20 lashings with your
right,
fucking
dude.
leather belt, dude.
No.
She's like pretty much holding on to the post.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Bent over, like grabbing the counter, you know what I mean?
Like, oh, that's not correcting. That is definitely abuse.
But yeah, he mentions that the cops came to his work and said that Gwen knows something about the investigation. And I'm guessing that since she had that information about the balloons, cops are not assuming that Gwen is the grabber, but that she has that inside info on the grabber's grabs because,
It could be her dad.
maybe they think the dad is the grabber.
Right. Well, and he's fucking drinking all the time. He don't want no heat, you know?
Right. But, you know,
I don't know
obviously
if
the
that's right.
cops aren't coming to talk to him at work about his young small daughter being a serial killer.
Right,
So
right, yeah.
that's the only conclusion I can come to. But Gwen and Dad are yelling back and forth for a minute, and she says she doesn't know anything, and if you hit me again, I'm dropping your fucking booze, you old bastard.
Ooh.
And that stops him in his tracks for a second, but he says, "You drop that bottle, and I'll beat your ass twice as hard."
Yeah, oh yeah.
And she drops it, and he fucking loses it, and he goes, "That was an $8 bottle of goddamn vodka."
Like
Which-
Kamchatka.
No, dude, it would be like $30 today. In 1978 money, $8 was a lot.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about that.
It's a pretty fucking expensive habit you got there, Terry. But Gwen stands up wailing, and this is really fantastic acting on her part. Dad yells at her that she is not her mother. That means you do not see things or hear things that are not there. Your dreams are just dreams. And he makes her repeat that back to him a few times, and she says it twice through teary eyes. And then for the third time, it's crazy, her face kind of hardens, and she like growls it at him, which was just a creative choice on her part. Like Derrickson didn't give her any such direction, but loved the choice she made at that moment, and it stuck. But yeah, she like, "My dreams are just dreams." Like, fuck, okay, Jesus. But Dad dismisses her and tells her to go watch TV or something. "But no ice on that bottom, young lady. I want you to think about what you did."
Damn.
Finney is staring daggers into Terrence, who goes back to take another swig of his breakfast screwdriver. And
Only
he's-
on vacation, okay? Damn.
And he sees Finney standing there, and he asks him if he knew anything about it. Finn says no, and he goes to sit next to his sister, and she puts her head on his shoulder. Poor kids.
Yeah, it's almost like they're so used to this that they just sit down and start watching TV together.
This is just, they're going through the motions yet again. Like, this is, one of them gets beat, and the other consoles him, and they fucking move on.
Right. And at this moment, I was really hoping that the grabber would make an exception and grab an adult. And grab Dad. Why not?
Hey, Terry, you're kind of short. You look kid-like, sort of.
He's drunk. Could be easy to take.
Yeah. We cut to Robin walking behind like a Kroger or some shit, and we see that same damn black van parked out behind it. We see a figure get out of it dressed in a fancy black getup with a red shirt, and he's got a fucking cape on and a top hat, and he's fucking dressed to party.
Is he dressed like fucking Slash? That fucking hat.
That image fades out, just like the one with Bruce did. Some anxiety-inducing score adds some tension here. And we cut to a bunch of different households getting phone calls that night. Ending with the Blake home, the kids are inside watching Emergency on TV when Terrence picks up the phone, and he hangs it up and kind of struggles to find words. He calls to Finney and he asks him if he knows a kid named Robin. Ari, not going to work here anymore, that's for sure. And Finney helps him out and says, "Ariano?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's the one, parlay." And he asks why his dad is asking him, and Terrence's face just contorts and he walks away, apparently not able to handle breaking the news to his son.
Right.
We cut to a big score hit and some unsettling sound design as the town sort of fans out in a search party that night, looking for Robin. Of course, they aren't going to find anything, not where they're looking anyway.
Right.
And Gwen comes in to apologize to Finney. She's like, "I know he was your friend." And Finney's like, "Hey, he still is. Fuck that was shit."
Yeah, we all know what's really going on here. Finney just knows he's going to get his fucking ass kicked now. He doesn't come out and say it, but
Poor kid.
yeah.
Well, he asks her if she can do her dream thing, and she explains it doesn't work that way, and he's like, but what if it does? Can you just fucking try, please?
Yeah, right. Please do me a favor. Help me out.
So she goes to her room, opens up her little dollhouse of evil fighting goodies. She's got a copy of the New Testament and Psalms and Proverbs and a picture of the Virgin Mary and a Jesus fish and a fucking rosary and a cross in here. If I didn't know this kid, I might assume she was up to either conjuring demons or helping Father Merrin vanquish them.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And she lays all her stuff out and starts praying for her brother to get his friend back. And she's like, look, I don't know all the rules. I don't know how you're supposed, or I know you're not supposed to interfere or whatever, but if you could just do me this one solid and give me like just one or two teensy little dreams, I would be in your service forever.
You'd be the king shit if you gave me some clues.
She puts her stuff down and walks away, but then runs back and kneels one more time just to say amen. There's a pretty cool shot on her, like down from above, as if it's from the perspective of God.
Oh, yeah.
And she runs back into bed, and Dad appears outside her door. And he's like, don't think I don't know what's going on in there. Fraternizing with that piece of shit God that took my wife. No, he just thinks she's playing in here. No, dude, Gwenny don't play.
Yeah, no playing with the lights out.
Gwenny does not fucking play.
Quit farting around in there, honey.
He's like, lights out, get your ass to sleep, I love you. He walks away and she lets her butthole unclench and goes to sleep.
Ew.
The next morning, the cops show up at the house again, and Terrence immediately assumes Gwen has done something wrong again.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out the cops want to talk to her, and Terry gives a weird look back at him like, what the fuck? Why do you want to talk to my kid? And once again, she's wearing a yellow shirt, by the way. The cops are basically like, hey, we're like really bad at our job. You got any more voodoo magic info for us?
Right. Worst cops ever.
And we cut to Robin's missing poster on a fence, and then Finney goes running by, being chased by all those fucking bullies again. Now that Robin's not around to protect him, they don't have anything stopping him.
Yeah, dude, I told you.
Cool.
Fucking knew it
Fuck.
right away.
They catch up to him and start pummeling his ass, and that's when fucking Gwen comes running up. I'm just going to start calling her G, because this little bitch is bout it. She runs up in yet another yellow outfit. Finn is yet again wearing blue. And she picks up a big-ass rock yelling, fucking cocksucking cowards! And she pushes one kid off of her brother and then cracks the main bully in the face with this fucking rock and just splits his shit wide open.
Fuck yes.
And she stares at the ginger one and says, fuck you too, ugly ass face. And she charges at this dude, but he like fucking hip tosses her to the ground. Meanwhile, we cut over to the kid that got bashed with the rock, and he is fucked up. Gushing blood down the side of his face, all over his shirt. Holy fucking shit, get this kid to a hospital. He is going to die.
Couple stitches, maybe.
The other kid starts to walk up to Gwen, and the ginger kid stops him like, no, she's mine. And just kicks this little girl in the face.
Yeah, hard as fuck, too.
I mean, I guess what goes around comes around, but at least she was defending her brother. You know? But she's had enough after that and crawls over to sit next to the bleeding kid, and they're both on the injured list, just posted up against the fence. Her mouth is all bloody now, and I realized that was the image from the opening credits I said looked like a Romero movie. Because the kid was wiping blood away from her mouth. It was Gwen right here.
Oh, okay. Nice.
The other kid's blood stain is getting worse and worse, but with Gwenny out of the way, the other two kids go back to work on pummeling Finney.
Yeah.
We cut back to science class where Mr. Hill tells the class that they're going to be dissecting frogs. Ooh, yay. Tells them all to pick lab partners, and everybody scatters. Finney doesn't know who to pick, but then Donna walks up and says, hey, sugar, want to be lab partners?
Oh, shit.
He stammers through oh, yeah, no, I guess that's okay, sure. And she sits down next to him and says, those guys from this morning are assholes. Everybody's talking about it. Oh, good. Glad news travels so fast around here.
Yeah. Great. Fantastic.
She's like, your sister's really cool, though. I wish my brother and I were friends like that. Hey, kill your mom, get your dad a little sauced up, and you too could live that dream. We cut to after school, and Gwen is giving Finney shit for being into Donna. She's doing the whole kissy face. Ooh, Donna, that whole thing. Meanwhile, Richie Valens comes on the jukebox. Oh, Donna. They walk past a sick-ass Mustang right here, by the way. And Gwen starts to walk away, and Finney's like, whoa, where do you think you're going? She's like, it's Friday, dickface. I'm staying at Susie's. He's like, right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll look after Dad once again. I wanted to point out Gwenny's dope-ass backpack right here, too. It looks like she's just wearing a fucking briefcase with straps, essentially.
Hell yeah.
I think it's sick as shit. I want one. Finney continues on his walk home, and we get a couple dissolves right here with him getting closer and closer to the camera. There's a VW bus in the foreground, a Woody station wagon in the back, just a very lived-in neighborhood in the autumn sunshine. This is one of the scenes that gets me most with that heavily nostalgic aesthetic.
Right.
It looks very Halloween, speaking of 1978. Finney walks and eventually comes across a black van parked along the path that says Abracadabra Entertainment and Supplies. Here's where we get our first actual introduction to the grabber, and I want to take a minute to talk about a few different aspects here. First of all, the way this scene is set up is very intentional, bringing a few different elements along with it. So first, let's talk about who the grabber is. This character was a blend of 3 very specific real-life serial killers. First of all, there's Dahmer, of course, who preyed on young men, and anyone who's familiar with his story will know that there's an instance during that whole ordeal where one of his victims was actually returned to him by the fucking police.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of scenes later that kind of call back to that. There's also Gacy, of course, who killed a whole bunch of young boys and buried them under his house. So the whole basement connection, we see all the bodies buried later. And he dressed like a clown. Now, the grabber is not a clown in this, but he was in the short story.
Oh, wow.
Apparently they changed it for the movie because they were like, well, Joe, your dad already has a popular story about a kid killing clown. Maybe that's a little on the nose.
Right. Agreed.
So they updated it to the grabber being a magician instead, which is a genius move for learning young boys. Like, who doesn't like magic, especially in the 70s?
Right.
But to tie in the clown imagery, the grabber is wearing white face paint here. And finally, the van is a callback to Bundy, who would pretend to be injured with his arm in a cast or something, and ask women for help loading something into his van or whatever. And when he got them close enough, he would nab them and close the door, locking them in. Not the first time that tactic has been seen in film, by the way. That's very Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
Right, that's what I was going to say, for sure.
Where are you about a size 8?
Yeah. Ew.
But I just wanted to take a second to lay out the different points of inspiration we're drawing from to create this character. And then next, the name Abracadabra. I know it's just a magic-y sounding name for the ruse he's putting on, but there are the parallels to dark things that come along with the word like we discussed in Late Night with the Devil, for instance. Carmichael Hague suggests it's just a silly magic word that evolved as a corruption of the name of the Gnostic deity Abraxas, which plays a huge role behind the scenes in that movie. There are also the Aramaic phrases avra cadabra, meaning I create as I speak, suggesting the power to manifest something, i.e. magic, or adada cadabra, meaning let the thing be destroyed. So 2 very similar sounding phrases meaning very different things, which lends to the mystery and unpredictability of this character, which we'll explore further through this crazy-ass mask. We'll see that there are many sides to this figure. So, getting back to this, Finney walks up to the van just as the grabber comes stumbling out from behind it, and he drops a couple of bags of groceries on the ground and lets out the goofiest sound I've ever fucking heard. He sounds like he's doing a Jerry Lewis impression or something. He's like, "Hey!" And he goes, well, isn't that just peachy keen? And Finn asks if he needs help, and he says just to hand him his hat, and he grabs it, and he takes a little look behind him to make sure the coast is clear, and stands up asking Finn if he wants to see a magic trick, and of course he does. Look, you spooky bitch, I would love to.
Oh, no, thank you.
But the grabber starts shaking up a spray can of some kind when Finn notices a whole bunch of black balloons in the back of the van. Dun, dun, dun.
Damn.
And he asks him about them, and the grabber opens up the door, and he says, yup, and he pulls out the balloons to obscure the fact from the public that he's abducting a young boy in broad daylight right out in front of somebody's house.
Yeah, no shit.
And they struggle for a minute, and Finn, being his resourceful self, grabs the rocket out of his pocket, his little pocket rocket.
Ew.
It's a flashlight, Jason.
Oh. Okay.
And he stabs it into the grabber's arm because it does have a pointy-ass tip on it, and he, tears it through his skin, up his arm.
Yeah. Ouch.
And the grabber yells out in pain and sprays whatever the fuck is in this can right into Finney's mouth, a lot.
Yeah, dude, that's what I was wondering what the fuck that was.
Yeah, I was thinking hopefully it's a low strength whatever it is because he gets a fucking heaping helping of it.
I'm surprised it wasn't just a fucking cloth,
Right. Yeah, the whole chloroform thing.
Or something,
Right. Yeah, no idea what it was, but it has to be at least chloroform adjacent, I suppose. But finally the grabber gets the better of him when the chemicals start to take hold, and the grabber just releases all the balloons into the air and closes the van door on Finn.
Not before we get a cool shot of him looking like Slash again with his fucking goofy ass top hat.
Dun, dun, dun. Boo-dee-dee, boo-bee, 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 boo-bee.
Oh, sweet child of mine.
We cut to the grabber carrying Finn into his gross-ass basement, talking shit the whole way, sounding like Psycho Mantis from Metal Gear all of a sudden. Turns out that's because he's wearing a mask now. He fucking sounds like,
You like Castlevania, don't you?
my kid was really into this movie when it came out, so for Christmas or her birthday that year, I can't remember which, but I got her a replica of this mask. So let's talk a little bit about the mask. First of all, designed by the great Tom Savini.
Nice.
And after I bought this mask, we planned to go to Horror Hound in Indianapolis and saw that he was going to be there, so we took it along with us for him to sign. Super sick, really nice guy. He took a selfie with my phone, and it was awesome. I also went to shake his hand when we were done, and he held out a fist for a fist bump, and I shook his fist like a fucking doofus, so that was not so awesome. But this mask is cool as shit. First of all, it's a mask in 4 parts. You've got the top part with the eyes and forehead, and then like the horns jutting out of it. Extremely exaggerated, pronounced features, like a classical ballet imp style, kinda. And as for the bottom, well, this is a mask for all seasons, baby. You got one option for the mouth. And jaw. That's a big old smile, huge mouth on it. You've also got one that's a frowny face, and it's cool to me that the top part works equally well with both. Somehow the slightly furrowed brow works in a mischievous way for the smile and in a pissed off way for the frown.
Right.
And these 2 options remind me a lot of the theater, comedy, and tragedy masks. And then you've got a third option for the bottom portion with no mouth at all.
Right.
So at various points in the movie from this point on, he wears different variations of it, like it's endlessly versatile. With each new combination, we see a different mood or personality almost. And sometimes he'll just wear the top part of it with nothing underneath, so his own mouth and chin are exposed. Sometimes he'll just wear one of the bottom options, leaving the top of his face exposed. And he seems to be in a different frame of mind every time we see him with a new variation of this mask, and it's so fucking cool. I think it's brilliant both in design and execution.
Yeah, I think this guy's fucking unhinged.
Yeah, also that, for sure. But as he's walking Finney into the basement, he goes,
My fucking arm. I should snap your neck for what you did to my arm.
and he tosses Finn on the nasty-ass mattress, and he kind of gets a look around at the place. Just a bare stone basement with a mattress no one should be touching. A window with bars over it, and a little hallway leading to a toilet. There's a crack along the wall of this basement that was really reminding me of the cover art for Sinister, and apparently that was intentional, so that's pretty sweet.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Then there's the door leading upstairs that will give us some trouble later. It's just like a thick, strong metal door, almost like it's sealing a damn bunker for nuclear winter or something.
Right. Yeah, big heavy ass fucking door.
And now the grabber leans in and we see this mask for the first time, and in this case, he's going with the no mouth option. And he kneels down next to Finney and inspects the damage on his arm. And he goes, Jesus, it's covered in blood. It looks like I killed someone. And he asks him if he can see it, but then he waves a hand in front of his face saying, oh, you probably can't see shit due to the chemical he fucking hosed him down with.
Right.
He goes, I know you're scared, but I'm not going to hurt you anymore. When I said the snap your neck thing, I was just upset. I mean, you did do a number on my arm. So now we're even. And he starts playing with Finn's hair, like brushing it out of his eyes and shit.
Gross.
Ew, dude. Go away. Get out of there.
Change his name to the Diddler.
He goes, you don't have to be scared because nothing bad is going to happen in here. Yeah, I'm sure that's not the fucking case. And he goes, on that, I give my word, Johnny. And he holds up like the Scouts honor sign. Like, quit calling me that, dude. It's not my name. But Grabby asks Finn if he likes soda.
Yep, see, I told you.
He says he'll go get him one, and then the phone upstairs starts to ring, and he decides he'll go see who it is first, and then come back and explain everything to Finn. He gets all handsy again for a second and heads off. He walks away, but he sort of stops and turns to look back before closing the door. And we can hear a heavy lock slide into place from the other side at this point, too. We stick with Finn for a second, and we see that he still has his pocket rocket covered in blood now.
Ew.
I don't know why the grabber wouldn't have taken that away from him, but here we are.
Yeah, it seemed kind of strange, too.
It seems like a pretty dependable weapon, honestly.
Must have shoved it in his pocket before he passed out.
He had the presence of mind to shove it back in his pocket as he was passing out. Damn. But Finn stands up and he tries the door, but no dice. He walks down this little hall to the bathroom and sees the nasty toilet with no seat, by the way. Rude. And it's pretty cool in the score right here. We hear some kind of faint ringing, maybe, and when Finn walks back out, he sees an old black rotary phone on the wall.
Right.
He immediately picks it up, but obviously no dial tone. He looks down to find the line has been cut. So he sinks back down onto the bed, totally deflated. We cut to Susie's house where the phone rings and Susie's mom tells Gwenny it's for her. She says hi to her dad and tells him she hasn't seen Finney since school. And when her dad responds, her face just washes out. She drops the phone and just runs straight out the door. This is a really great shot, too, when she runs off the porch and through the yard. The shot is straight on her face as she runs right toward the camera, and they use this technique where they either zoom the camera out as they physically push it in or vice versa, but it makes it look like the character is staying in one place while the background either expands or contracts.
Right.
It's a really cool, trippy shot. I think they use a similar one in Jaws on Roy Scheider on the beach.
Okay.
But cut to the cops all over the neighborhood that night. Detectives right and left are talking to Terrence yet again, while Gwynnie is wrapped up in a blanket on the ground. We get a little scene of her praying again with a nice score over it. And then we hear a phone ring, and she looks up as if she hears it, just as Finney, back in the basement, looks up because he actually hears the black phone on the wall ringing.
Yeah, the fuck?
Like, what? No way. I must be dreaming. How is that possible? And he picks it up anyway, and as soon as he does, there's the fucking grabber standing in the doorway to say, "It doesn't work. Not since I was a kid. Hang it up." And he turns on the basement lights and tells Finney he'll take him home soon. Just not now, because everything's kind of fucked up right now. You know, I got some appointments, and I got to pick up my dry cleaning, because you got fucking blood all over my best magic outfit. I got to be upstairs for a while. Something's come up. And Finney goes, "Ooh, do tell. Is it the cops? Did someone see something? What? Like, what is it?" And the grabber gets weird with his, like, "Never mind what."
He's like, "No, man. Hell no. Nobody's seen shit."
Finn promises he won't tell anyone anything if he just lets him go now, but if someone's upstairs, he'll scream and they'll hear him. And the graboid says, "Nah, not with the door shut. Nobody can hear anything down here. I soundproofed it myself." And he's wearing the smiley mask at this point, by the way.
Well, he's in a good mood.
He goes, "Shout if you like, you won't bother anyone." Finney accuses him of killing Bruce and Robin, and that's where I was like, wait, really, Bruce and Robin? Come on. But the grabber says, "Nah, dog, that wasn't me. That was someone else. That was the guy with the frowny mask. That wasn't me."
Oh.
And he says, "I'll never make you do anything that you won't like."
Gross.
That made me throw up in my mouth a little bit. And Finn looks like he agrees, and he says, "If you try to touch me, I'll scratch your face, and whoever's coming will see and ask why." We get an iconic image of the grabber as he looks up toward the light with his hands raised, and he says, "This face? This face right here? Is this the face you're going to scratch? You talking to me?" Here's another thing, though. Hey, Dipstick, he's wearing a mask completely covering his face. What
Right.
part of it are you planning on scratching exactly?
That's true.
But the grabber says to hang up the phone again, and he does, and then Grabula tells him he was down here once when it rang. It was the creepiest damn thing. He shudders a little, and he tells Finney he thinks it's the static electricity that makes it happen. What fucking static electricity? This dude's making shit up trying to prevent Finn from using it, or to convince him that it's just his imagination so he doesn't engage with it.
Huh.
But he says he was standing right next to it when it rang, and he picked it up without even thinking about it. Nobody was there, of course. Don't bother using the phone. It doesn't work. Don't forget that, Finney. The phone doesn't work.
Huh. Don't touch that fucking phone, Finney.
You paying for the fucking service on it?
Hey, Finney.
So the grabber walks out, and Finney starts screaming his head off, hoping someone upstairs hears him. But we cut to a shot looking at him from outside the window, and sure enough, we can see him screaming, but we can't hear a damn thing.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool shot, actually. You can just see him, like, side profile view of him screaming
Yeah, and
through
you
the
can
window.
tell he's putting his all into it.
Right.
That's when Finn starts to look around and get his bearings a bit. Tries to jump at the window, but he's way too short. He thinks about pulling the mattress over to walk up it, but it's like latched into the floor by these steel brackets. Son of a bitch.
Right.
And he starts freaking out a little, so he calms himself down by giving himself a pep talk, like, stop, 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 stop. If anyone could break that window, somebody would have done it. Robin would have done it, my hero. And it's kind of fucked up that he knows the kids that have previously gotten grabbed because he knows them all to be either big, tough, or at least physically capable kids.
Right.
Like, Bruce was a good baseball player. Robin could kick the shit out of anyone. That Vance kid was apparently a bit of a big bully, too. So he's down here like, damn, dude, I'm just a scrawny little kid. What the fuck am I going to do?
Which kind of makes you wonder, was the grabber grabbing certain kids, you know? So why'd they...
He was definitely casing his victims. Like, he
So
was
why'd they
following them for
get-
a while to pick them.
Why'd he pick Finney?
I don't know. But I mean, for Finney, that's got to be an awful headspace to be in this situation. But he sits down to have a think about it, and eventually he comes to terms with the fact that he's just not going to make it out of here. This is
Right.
where I die, you know? And then, as if by divine intervention, the phone rings. And he looks at it for a minute, and the score ramps up. And this is where I noticed that the crack along the wall is going right through the middle of the phone, or maybe emanating out from it. Pretty cool detail.
Mm.
And Finn picks up the phone, and nothing.
Wah, wah.
He goes to hang it up and then pulls it back for another second just to check one more time. Am I sure nobody's there?
Right.
And we cut to him laying in this disgusting bed. Dude, for real, in these situations, I might just sleep on the floor. I would rather risk the soreness from the floorness, than whatever must be crawling around that nasty mattress.
I was going to say, it had like some springs. Not really a box spring, so could be worse.
I'm just talking about the grossness level. What has happened on that bed up to this point? You know that fucking thing has never been cleaned. It's probably got all kinds of bed bugs and bolts.
Put a top sheet on. Jesus.
Yeah, dude, throw one of those fucking carpets from the bathroom over.
Can I get a blanket?
But he looks up at the phone, and there's a crazy effect where it's like pulsing in and out, like it's breathing almost.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he just says, stop it. You are not seeing this. Your dreams are just dreams, essentially. But after he says, stop it, holy fuck me, loud as shit, the grabber's just like, stop what?
Yeah, scared the
Where in
fuck.
the fuck did you come from, you creep? You friggin' weirdo. What the hell are you doing here? You don't belong here. She's running out. Anyway.
He belongs here.
He's knelt down next to the wall, and now he's only wearing the smiley jaw mask part and no top, meaning no top of the mask. He has a shirt on.
Yeah, nice hair.
Finn tells him he's hungry, and he responds by asking how his eyes are. Well, they fucking hurt. And then Grab-A-Gale tells him he can't bring him any food right now. He'll have to wait. And Finn assumes it's because someone is upstairs and would see him bringing the food. This kid is awfully perceptive, but I guess there's a lot of time to think down here.
A little bit more than me.
Finn asks, hey man, if you weren't going to bring me food, why'd you even come down here? God, Dad, leave me alone. I'm in a LAN party.
I just wanted to look at you.
Yeah, what the fuck? Just to look at you. And Finn makes a disgusted face. And we cut back to Ethan Hawke, and he's tearing up, and he repeats, I just wanted to look at you. I'll go. Geez, I'm sorry you're so fucking beautiful, okay? I guess you don't want the flowers I brought you.
Why are you so sweaty, Ethan?
No, his eyes are sweating. Those are tears. I think Ethan Hawke's portrayal of the grabber is phenomenal. It's crazy that he was apprehensive about playing a villain because he's so damn good at it.
Right.
And just acting in general. I mean, dude's a beast.
Yep.
But he turns and leaves, the door slams and locks, the lights go back out, Finn goes back to sleep. Until the phone rings again. He goes to pick it up, and this time we hear some static, and this is about the time where I started to wonder, oh damn, is he just going fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Like, is there an interpretation of this movie where he's just been down here for long enough that he's starting to lose it, imagining these phone calls?
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
he's got a touch of the shine like his sister too, and this is his way of manifesting, that this is how he's got all the info about which tiles are loose and shit.
Right.
Possibly. I mean, food for thought for sure. And then at the very end, a voice says, Finny. And he shits his pants and hangs up the phone and backs up across the room, breathing heavy. And the phone rings again right away. And I love the way Finny marches defiantly over to it and just picks it up and puts it right back down.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's like, nope, not today, ghost kids. But the phone is not taking no for an answer.
Yeah, it rings again, but without a break in the ring.
Yeah,
you know?
like it's not the standard ring. It starts immediately back up, and first, like it's not the standard like ring for a second, take a break, ring again. This thing is just screaming out one continuous ring uninterrupted, right. And then it fucking starts to get louder until Finny finally picks it up, and the kid on the other end of the line says, "Don't hang up," and he goes, "Okay," and he asks who it is, and the kid goes, it's a good question. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember my name.
He says, it's the first thing you lose. And Finney's like, the first thing you lose when? And he goes, you know when. Quit playing dumb, kid. And fucking shit, I guess dead kids have no names. Isn't that the old pirate adage?
Damn, I guess so.
Finn asks how the kid knows his name, and he says, we met once. Your arm is mint. You almost had me. Oh shit, it's Bruce!
Yeah, Bruce. Bruce
motherfucking Yamada, son!
Yeah, he ain't dead. Or is he? Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
He says his name is Bruce. Or he says his name, and Bruce is like, oh yeah, fuck, it is Bruce. I'm Bruce. Bruce is me. What up, bitches? It's your boy, and Bruce is on the loose. I am Groot. But Finn asks if the phone rang for him too, and he says, yeah, but none of us heard it, only you. And the grabber hears it too, but he doesn't want to believe it. Aha, I knew it, that lion motherfucker.
Oh, yep.
And he goes, why are you calling me? And he's like, your arm is mint. You almost had me. Yeah, you fucking said that already. But then he goes, I'm glad it's you. But it's cool that he keeps repeating this phrase like, I think they call it a static haunting maybe. something like that. But it's like the ghost doesn't have any agency. It just keeps looping back through a particular action, which sounds like the shittiest version of Ghost to be.
Ghosts awfully fucking repetitive, huh?
Right? Bruce tells Finn about a section of the floor where the tile is loose and it's just dirt underneath. He tried to escape out of it, but he didn't have time to dig under the foundation and out the other side. And Finn asks if he'll have enough time, and Bruce just hangs up on him. We cut to the montage of young Bruce, baby Bruce, playing baseball and saying the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag like a good little Japanese-American citizen with immigrant parents post-World War II.
Yeah, dude, these pictures are almost creepy. They're so old looking, you know?
Oh, for sure. I'm going to tell you something. Scott Derrickson loves these old, like, Super 8-style home movies. Like, that was half of Sinister.
Right.
At the end of the montage, we finally see him getting got by the grabber, and then we cut to Finney struggling to get out of a door of a house, banging on it, yelling. And we zoom out as the score crescendos and we see the address on the house, but it's a little hard to read. Looks like it's kind of upside down and backwards, though, so it could be 7471 maybe. Keep that in mind for the end of the movie. Finn calls out for help, and it turns out, holy shit, this was Gwen's dream.
Yeah, damn.
From the start of the baby Bruce sequence, and she sits up in bed, drenched in sweat. Cut to her riding her bike around the neighborhood at night, looking at house addresses. And that's when we join Finney again. He's tearing up that loose tile in the floor. He starts digging up the dirt, and he makes a hell of a hole.
Yeah, dude, he's fucking flushing the dirt down the toilet.
I'm on the fence about whether that's a good idea or not.
Yeah,
because I only say so because, like, it seems like a great idea. Oh, I have to get rid of this dirt. What am I going to do with it? Oh, yeah, dirt is kind of like poop. Dirt's just earth poop. So he flushes it. Okay, cool. But what about the sound? And
That's what I was thinking, too.
Well, you might say, like, the grabber said it was soundproof down here, but what about the pipes, dude?
I was going to say, you could definitely hear somebody flushing the toilet every fucking 3 minutes.
I'm sure you'd still hear the water running. The grabber's up there like, what the fuck? How is this kid using the bathroom so much? I haven't even fed it yet.
Right, yeah. Kid takes a lot of shits.
But Finn grabs a rug from the bathroom and puts it over the hole. Another thing that I think is kind of risky. What if old Grabby Hands notices the difference? Hey, there wasn't a rug there before.
That's the first thing I said. Yeah, I bet the grabber wouldn't notice that at all.
We cut to Gwenny in school for a minute, just long enough to see an assembly going on. The kids are in the gym with the cops talking to them about Finney's disappearance, and everybody starts staring at Gwen.
Yup.
And then back in Uncle Touchy's naked puzzle dungeon, the grabber comes in with breakfast, and Finn is like, what did you put in it? The grabber's like, salt and pepper, silly. You're already down here. Why would I need to drug you?
Yeah, very good point.
And he's got a pretty cool-ass 70s style shirt on here, by the way, the grabber does.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He laughs and says, whatever, dude, eat it or don't, I don't care. He sets the food on the floor and walks back out. Finn notices he leaves the door unlatched, like not quite closed. He's like, hot damn, here's my chance. And he runs to it, like, first of all, give it a fucking second, kid. He just walked out.
Right.
But just as he grabs the handle, the phone rings again. And a kid on the other end of the line goes, don't go upstairs. It's a trap.
Yeah, no shit. Come on, man.
Dude, it kind of gave me goosebumps a little bit thinking about how close he came to really fucking up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God.
This kid is not Bruce, by the way. He says, I don't know any Bruce. We don't fucking play baseball here. Finn turns around, and suddenly a dead kid is standing right next to him, but Finn doesn't see him, just us.
Right.
And he's standing 2 feet away from him, but we're still hearing his voice through the phone. That's pretty sweet. Good sound design there. The kid looks pretty fucked up, though. He's got a big gash across his face, and he says he doesn't remember who he is. And Finn's like, all right, well, if you didn't play baseball, what sport did you play? Soccer? Football? He's like, nah, dog, I delivered newspapers. That's when Finn recognizes him as Billy Showalter. And the kid's like, yeah, maybe. That doesn't matter. Do not go upstairs. He's waiting up there with that fucking belt. He'll beat you with it until you pass out, and it hurts real bad. You'll beg him to stop, but he just keeps beating you. And Billy walks over to the phone and hangs it up. So these ghosts can indeed interact to some degree with the physical environment.
Oh, okay. This doesn't seem to faze Finney, though. As he immediately begins to head up the stairs.
Yeah, what in the fuck is going on? He hangs up the phone and starts walking up the fucking stairs anyway. Jesus, kid, he just told you not to do that. But he doesn't walk all the way up. He stops a few steps shy. And then we pan over to see that the grabber is indeed waiting in a chair facing the doorway, no shirt on, holding a belt, and now he's got the frowny face full mask on.
Oh, dude, yeah. Holy shit.
Pretty fucking scary, dude.
This version of the grabber is called Daddy Roughhouse. shirt. He's got his hair out. He's holding a fucking belt. He's sitting in the chair, and he's just, he ain't blinking. He's waiting for that door to open.
Oh, man. Oh. But Finn goes back downstairs and starts scarfing down these eggs and drinking the pop before he even swallows. I hate it when people do that. God, it bugs me. But we cut to Gwen falling asleep in school. She hasn't been doing so hot lately with all them late-night bike rides.
Yeah.
And the teacher tells her to go down and take a nap in the nurse's station.
Can I point out, kids are getting grabbed by a fucking guy named the Grabber.
And she's just rolling around at night.
Gets up 1 a.m. Go
Well,
for a little bike ride. I know she's trying to save the day, but if the grab isn't that
maybe
prime,
she feels like she doesn't need to be worried because she's clearly not the Grabber's type.
that's not true.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
It's all boys, buddy.
Ew.
He's not grabbing girls.
Yuck.
So we cut back to Finn and the phone ringing. It's Billy again, but he says not to call him that. It's not who he is anymore. And Finn notices on the floor the bottle of pop starts shaking. Mental note, new weapon, by the way. But Billy just says, "Call me the paper boy." And he tells Finn that there's a loose cable along the wall and he should use it to climb up and out the window. But he does it by spinning the bottle and pointing it straight at the window. It's fucking crazy.
Pretty cool.
But about the thing like, don't call me Billy, just call me the paper boy. That's also what you aren't anymore.
Right.
Are you delivering papers in the afterlife, my dude?
It's just what he does for all of eternity now.
By your own logic, that doesn't make any sense, and I'm still calling you Billy. Fuck you. But we cut to Gwen in the nurse's office. She's sleeping, therefore she's dreaming. And what she's dreaming about, Billy Showalter, of course. We see him hanging out with his little doggy, getting his papers rubber banded and put in his bike basket. And this is where we got to take a second to talk about the story of Johnny Gosh. I think it was in 82 or 83. He was abducted while on his paper route, and the crazy part is his dog was with him. They found the bike and the dog, but no boy.
Pretty crazy.
And I'm also pretty sure he was one of the first cases that started the whole missing kid on a milk carton thing. I think he was one of the first faces included in that whole thing.
I got you.
But we pretty much see that scene play out verbatim with Billy Showalter here. And we see the papers scattered across the yard and the overturned bike with the dog hanging out next to it and then the van driving away. And then we cut to a creepy image of the Grabber in his top hat and shades with the smiley mouth holding a shitload of black balloons, standing in the front of that same house from Gwen's last dream, by the way.
Right.
She hops up off the table and runs out of the nurse's office. Cut back to Finney pulling out the cord from the wall and trying to loop it around the bars on the window, but he can't do it. That's when he gets the bright idea to grab a rolled up carpet from the bathroom and feed the cord up through the inside of it. Fantastic idea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he does it, and he ties it off down below and he steps onto it, but he can't quite make it up. He tries one more time and he reaches the window, but then the fucking grate breaks off and falls down on top of him. Thank fuck this room is soundproof, first of all. But second, that looked like it really fucking hurt.
Right.
That grate hit him hard as shit, and he hit the ground hard as shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally assumed that the Grabber was going to be down here right away, but like you said, we're soundproof, so.
Man. So he just kneels there and hangs his head. We cut to Gwen coming into the living room to talk to her dad about her dreams. She's like, "Promise you won't get mad? Hey, what if my dreams are real?"
Yeah, we actually get a little bit of a soft side from this guy beyond the abusive drunk that we've seen so far.
Right. Well, that's what he's using to mask the grief that he still can't face.
Right.
About what happened. He explains about her mom believing that she could see similar visions, and that ended in her taking her own life. He doesn't want that future for his daughter.
Right.
So that's why he always loses his shit about her talking about her dreams. I think are some really good deliveries and a pretty touching scene. I also wonder how the dad was before mom left. Was he an alcoholic then too, or was this whole ordeal what drove him to it?
That's a good point.
But Gwen points out, "Look, dude, what if these could help me find Finney?" And he kind of changes his tune and gives in, and we cut to them driving around the neighborhood at night looking at addresses again.
Right.
She doesn't have to do it on her bike anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's kind of nice to see a different side to this guy, you know? Right.
So we get a police search party going, and they walk up to a door, and
yeah, Wright and Miller are back.
It's got a mean sounding dog inside it. The house that detectives Wright and Miller walk up to, and James Ransone opens the door, playing a character named Max. And when the cops tell him why they're there, he's like, "Oh fuck, I'm glad you're here. Come on in. Let me show you my fucking murder board in here."
Yeah.
And he's got this big cork board full of newspaper clippings and pictures and shit and a map. And apparently he's been obsessing over this whole case for no reason whatsoever. He's not a cop.
It's because he's on drugs, man. He's got nothing to do.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he was like one of the first true crime enthusiasts.
He's like that Charlie Day meme where he's fucking on cocaine. He's got that board, his hair's all crazy. Like, listen, this is what's happening. That's exactly what's going on right here.
He's like, okay, so all the kids live in the same school district. They walk to school except Robin Ariano. He was grabbed on a Saturday on the way to the store. Blah, blah, blah. He's super coked up and just zooming through his lines, literally. And Max is breaking down the killer's MO, and he says the killer has to be able to grab these kids and get them back to his house really quickly. So he must have a house with a garage. He's got to live somewhere in this area right here. And he points to the map. And Detective Wright asks how long Max has lived in the area. And he says, oh no, this is my brother's place. I live in Durango. I'm just crashing here because I'm in between jobs.
Nice.
The detective gives him a photo and he says, look, if you see any of these boys, give us a call. And Max is like, right, but we're working this case together, right? I should also call you if I get any more leads. And he's like, just call if you see any kids, please.
Right. And then he says, clean up a little bit before your brother gets home and points
man.
out all the coke on the table.
He fucking, okay.
Hey, 78 though. Evidently the cops didn't care as much about coke.
Yeah, well, they're not there for that. They're trying to solve a fucking murder, dude. That's
Right.
Homicide. That's not Vice or whatever. You know what I mean? But can you imagine coming down to see your brother crashing at your place on a coke binge and he's got a huge board with all of your murders on it?
Yeah. Well, it kind of adds, yeah, never mind.
He settles on the couch and blasts another rail, and then the camera pans straight down under his feet to the basement where Finney is. The whole time?
Yeah. Holy shit, Max. What the fuck are you doing?
This is another point where I made a note about the cinematography is just unbelievable in this. Some great choices are made. Great lighting, great colors, all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
And Finn goes back to digging, but then he hears the grabber coming, so he jumps into bed. And old Grabby's like, I know you're not sleeping, silly. I brought you some breakfast, but tell me your name first. And Finn asks why he cares, and he's like, oh, usually I don't, but there's just something special about you, sweetie. And he says, I find out eventually in the paper, and they print out a nice big article, and I get all the details I want, all the things you boys lie about.
Ew.
And Finn asks, all right, so what's different this time? And the grabber says, everything's complicated. Everything's kind of messed up. Maybe sensing Gwen's psychic presence a little bit, perhaps. And he says he's thinking about letting Finn go, which of course he's not. But he's like, tell me your fucking name. And Finn answers, Taylor Mullen. And that's when the grabber steps in out of the shadows, revealing that he's got the frowny mask on, and he just slams the food onto the floor and it fucking goes everywhere. And he's pissed because he's got the morning paper tucked in his arm, and it's got an article about Finn, that lying little bitch.
Yep, right on the cover.
He throws the paper at him, much like Billy Showalter would have. And he says, I was really starting to like you. Finny! I almost let you go. And he kicks the tray as he walks out. And Finn goes back to the door, but the phone rings again. This time it just hangs up on him, no talking. We cut upstairs to see the grabber sitting in his chair waiting with his belt again, shirt unbuttoned, of course, and he's like dozing off. It was fucking hilarious seeing him jerk back awake while wearing the mask.
Right. The angry mask again, too.
Yeah. But downstairs, Finney scrapes up all the nasty-ass eggs onto the plate.
Yeah. Oh,
And that night, he wakes up and pulls out his little pocket rocket. And
you, dude.
He's using the flashlight, and he's looking around the room, and all of a sudden we see a fucking dead kid hanging in midair as if impaled on something. Blood's dripping all over the floor, and the kid just points at the phone.
Yeah, he's floating. Bunch of weird shit.
Yeah, man.
But he's a little ghosty boy. You
Yeah,
know?
he's a cute little ghosty boy. Finn picks up the phone, and this kid starts talking to him about how he doesn't have much time, and this kid sounds much younger. He tells Finney the grabber hasn't been sleeping and thinks his brother's getting close to figuring it out. And Finney asks if he's Griffin Stagg, and he's like, who? I don't know, fucking probably. And the kid says, no one knew me, and now all of a sudden everyone does.
You're killing me, Smalls. I said I don't remember.
But like referring to, the articles in the paper, now everyone, like he was an invisible kid before, but now everyone knows his name because he's fucking dead.
Right.
But Griffin says Finn doesn't have much time, but he can't kill you if you don't play the game. You don't play, he can't win.
Hey, Dusty, what's the game?
The game is called Naughty Boy.
Fucking gross.
Jesus Christ, of course the game is called fucking Naughty Boy. Ew!
Yeah, and if you don't play Naughty Boy, he can't move on to the next part,
Yeah.
which I assume is the diddling part. So, it's probably best
There's some
not...
diddling involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't play, he can't beat you
If you
for
don't
being
play-
a naughty boy. Can't give you your spankings.
I highly suggest that you don't play part 1. Part 2 is the worst part.
But yeah, he can't move on to the next part, his favorite part. Ew, okay, stop there. I get the picture.
Yeah, he said, "What's the next part?" And he just laughs.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's probably fine.
Let you use your imagination.
You should be practicing with that pocket rocket, though. But Griffin says, we'll check it out. The grabber is sleeping right now, and the door is still unlocked. You can get upstairs, but my bike lock is on the storm door. Finn's like, what's the combination? He's like, bitch, I don't know.
I told you, Smalls, I don't remember.
But I wrote it on the wall. So fucking funny. And when he says he doesn't remember, and Finney just goes, Griffin! Like, come the fuck on, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Thanks for the phone call.
But he tells him where it's written, and he carved it with a bottle cap, apparently, and Finn finds the numbers 23317, which could be a few different options. Finn tells him the numbers, and the kid's like, yeah, sure, whatever. He's like, I'm dead. I don't have to remember shit now. And he asks which combination of numbers it is. Is it 23317? Is it 23317? Like, what are we talking about? Griffin doesn't know. He's like, you're just going to have to fucking try them all, dude.
Yeah, good luck, kid.
And Finn hangs up the phone like, thanks for the fucking help, I guess? Question mark. And he takes his pocket rocket and walks upstairs repeating the number over and over. And it sounds like old Grabby might have a little sleep apnea, and he's totally wearing the wrong kind of mask right now. But Finn walks right past him and into the living room, past a murder board and a fucking pile of coke. And he opens the door and starts trying the combination on the padlock that's on the storm door. So he keeps checking behind him to make sure that the grabber is still there. And finally, he gets the lock open. But as soon as he does, the fucking dog starts barking and wakes the grabber up. And he stands up and takes off the top part of his mask, and his eyes are wide as fuck. And we go to Finney running down the street, and the van comes rocketing out behind him and comes up to cut him off and kind of hits him with it, actually.
Yeah, dude, it's so fucking crazy. But this entire portion of the movie here, I'm just like, come on, dude.
Yeah. This is another thing that reminded me of the Dahmer situation, like victims escaping and then coming back.
He made it to the damn sidewalk and was down the street, and then all of a sudden, the van, which is the quickest starting van for 1978, starts up and cuts this kid off.
Right. I guess, to be fair, we don't know how much time passed in between those points, but like, I
just
totally
looked
see what you
crazy.
mean. It's like immediate, like, yeah, this van, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's already got the keys. He's in the van. He's down the street.
I would have thought it would have been faster for him to pursue on foot
I would've
rather
thought
than
so,
getting
too.
in the van.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, he's got longer legs.
Yeah,
you
your
saw him run
stride's
out the
probably
door.
double, you
Yeah,
know?
right.
Yeah, for sure.
Finney yells, help, the grabber, and a porch light comes on, and they end up falling behind a bush, and the grabber says,
If you say one fucking word, I'll gut you like a pig right here in the street and strangle you with your own intestines.
Cool.
Jesus, dude. The porch light finally turns off after a minute, and so does another one across the street, and the grabber says,
Nighty-night, naughty boy.
and he punches the shit out of him, knocking him out.
Yeah, clean as fucking clock, dude.
So he carries him back to bed and tosses him on it. That's when we hear Max upstairs going, what was all that noise I heard? Nothing. Samson was barking at something. Go back to bed.
Fucking Max. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Right. We cut to Gwenny waking up in her yellow-ass room, and she wakes up after not having had a dream, and she's pissed. And she gets all her praying stuff out and delivers maybe my favorite line of all fucking time. She goes, Jesus, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? And she goes, I ask you for help and you give me all these clues that don't mean anything. And now I wake up without any dream at all? You're a real piece of shit, Jesus. You know that?
And you let the grabber take Finney.
Yeah. She's like, I know you did. I seen it. And don't tell me you don't get involved because you've been giving me these dreams. Oh my God.
She's saying what everybody is thinking after a day at church. You know, hey, I fucking prayed yesterday. Why don't I have $1 million fucking dollars? You know,
dude. Not that she ever says it, but my daughter loves this movie a lot, and like that line, Jesus, what the fuck? Like, I'll toss it out every once in a while and we'll fucking crack up laughing. It's great. But this is where she also starts to get to kind of get the idea that maybe God isn't real. Oh shit, dude. We got a Karis in training here.
Mm-hmm.
We cut back to Finney waking up with his nose bleeding, and he says, "Son of a bitch. Motherfucker got blood all over my best nose." And the phone rings, and he goes, "No, fuck you. I'm done." And he picks it up eventually, and he says, "What? Who is it? Do you even know who you are?" And the voice on the other end of the line is new and goes, "What the shit kind of question is that? Do you even know who you are?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm Finney Blake." He's like, "Yeah, well, nice to fucking meet you, Finney Blake. Right here. This is it. The horrifying nightmare end of your pathetic little life."
Ouch.
And that's when Finn recognizes it as Vance Hopper, who used to scare Finn. And he's like, "Trust me, kid, if you knew what you had coming, you'd be fucking terrified. Today's the day, motherfucker."
Yeah, so he's a crazy fucking bully, huh?
We cut to, I thought it was an arcade at first, but I guess it's not really an arcade, more of a convenience store with a pinball machine in it.
Yeah.
But Fox on the Run by Sweet starts to play on the soundtrack.
Nice.
And there's Pinball Vance. He's a pinball wizard. I love the song choice here, but I'm confused at why it's not Pinball Wizard by The Who.
Probably kind of expensive, dude.
More so than fucking Fox on the Run? Why? You know?
I don't. The Who? I don't know.
But interesting that his name is Vance Hopper, too. Kind of maybe a Stranger Things connection there, because he looks like a pretty boy, but a bad boy like Billy in that show that also has a character named Hopper. I don't know. Might be grasping at straws for that one. But looks like Vance is about to beat his high score on the pinball machine, but then the ball gets stuck, and a kid bumps into the machine, knocking the ball down the wrong way, down the hole, making him lose.
Right.
And Vance loses his fucking mind and pushes this kid into a magazine rack. His buddy standing in the aisle pulls a fucking switchblade on him.
Yeah, goddamn, dude, all over pinball.
Yeah, all the while, Finney is standing in the background watching it all go down. The lady at the register picks up a phone to call the cops, and the kid rushes Vance with the knife, and he just grabs his arm and punches the shit out of him, takes him out and his buddy. So Vance could clearly take care of himself. He gets on top of this kid, bashes his head into the ground a bunch, and then takes the knife and starts carving something into the kid's arm. But this is all part of a vision, because he carves the number 7741.
Ooh.
Now, remember the house number we saw earlier was 7471, suggesting either Gwen's visions suck, or there are two different houses. Spoiler alert, at the end, we see Finney come out of the house across the street from the one the cops go to, like, "I'm over here, you dumb shits." But wouldn't the house on the other side of the street have to be an even number? Movie flaw.
Yeah, I guess so. You're definitely right.
So the cops haul Vance out of the store, and we see Gwen walk by, and she decides to get in the cop car with him. She's looking around, living through someone else's memory. And that's when, over the car radio, we hear the beginning of Vance and Finney's conversation, and Gwen starts silently screaming out for Finney. And as they drive by a house, Vance points to it and says, "Right here, this is it." And Gwen gets out of the car and starts to walk up to the house. We get a shot of a tree that's very much, it's like the hanging out video from Sinister. Fuck yeah.
Scary tree.
But Gwen gets close enough to confirm the address is 7741. And Vance walks up and kicks the gate in. That's where Gwen wakes up in the tub. And her dad calls in telling her she's going to be late for school. Still on the phone, Vance asks if Finn has tried stacking up the carpets to reach the window. That's when Vance says, "When the grabber saw what he did, he took his time with me. And he must have spent a fortune repairing the damages." And Finn's like, "Oh shit, what did you do?" And he's like, "I'm getting to that, cuntwad."
Yeah, cuntwad.
He's like, "Or do you have some other important shit to do right now?" Vance fucking rules, dude. But he tells Finn there's an outlet in the shitter right across from the John. Which part is the shitter and which part is the John? But on the other side, there's a storage room. You can't get into it because there's a big-ass freezer in the way, but break through that wall a couple feet above the outlet. There's a panel with screws. You get that off and you're in the freezer. And then you can get out into the storage room, in theory.
Oh, okay.
So Finn says, "Thanks for helping me." And Vance goes, "This isn't about you. I want to see this dude eat it."
Right.
And suddenly he gets sucked off into oblivion. And I mean, his body is pulled backwards really, really fast into the darkness.
I understand.
And two of the pop bottles fly toward Finn and break on the wall. Jesus fucking Christ.
He got sucked off into oblivion.
That sounds like a blowjob I could go out on, for sure. But he goes into the bathroom and starts bashing into the wall with the toilet lid. Couple dissolves. This takes forever. So long, in fact, that he gets thirsty for a drink of toilet water. Ew!
It's a pretty quick scene, though. I kind of made note that, like, damn, he didn't waste any time.
No, he got right to drinking that toilet water.
Boom, all of a sudden he's in the fucking freezer, you know?
But he finally breaks through and finds the panel, and he uses the fin of his pocket rocket as a screwdriver, but it doesn't work great, so he disassembles the toilet to get out a washer to use instead. Fucking MacGyver over here.
Hell yeah.
And he finds a bunch of steaks in this freezer. Those aren't boy steaks, right? He's not a cannibal. Those are regular steaks.
I don't know.
I hope.
Cool.
Knock on wood. But he tries to smash his way out of the freezer, but he can't get it open. So at this point, he just breaks down and starts crying. All that work, and he's still fucked. I'm sure his spirit is slowly getting broken at this point. Poor kid.
Oh, yeah. He has a nice little cry.
Oh, yeah. Real good cry. And surprise, surprise, we hear a phone ringing again. And he picks it up, and holy shit, now it's his buddy Robin.
Yeah, for sure.
It's cool that all the ghost boys keep repeating phrases that they've already said to Finn in real life. And he goes, hey, Finn, what's happening? Just like he said to him in the bathroom earlier.
Right.
And Robin's like, hey, buddy, don't cry. He goes, I'm not crying. You're crying.
So I can see you. Hey, God damn it, really?
Yeah, you're definitely crying. I'm looking at you right now. I've been with you this whole time. A man never leaves his friends behind, just like my dad in Vietnam. He didn't leave his friends behind. That's why he didn't come home. So Finn and Gwen have lost their mom. Robin lost his dad. So something else that forced him to grow up and be more of this, together individual that we know to be Robin.
Right.
But he goes, I'm not coming home either. Finn goes, don't worry, we'll be together soon. And Robin's like, no way, dude, fuck that. You ain't going out like that. And he goes, remember what I told you? And Finn's like,
that I need to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
He's like, no, before that. He says,
the stand up for yourself thing. I got you.
Yeah. He goes, that someday I need to stand up for myself. He goes, that someday is today, buddy. He's like, I'm not a fighter like you. He goes, yes, you are. You might not have been able to throw a punch, but you sure could take them, and you always got back up. He's like, do this for me, man. And he goes, why does it matter? And then we see Robin standing next to him saying, because I don't want to fucking have died for nothing. And since I can't kill that hijo de puta, you have to do it for me. And Robin tells him to use the phone in his hand as a weapon. I'm sitting here thinking, you've had the pocket rocket the whole time, dude. That thing looks sharp as fuck. Stab his ass in the fucking neck with it.
I mean, if we get, I don't know. It's like having a really little knife. It's not even a knife. It's like just a pen with a flashlight on it.
It's a toy, but it was sharp enough to pierce his arm skin. That means it's definitely sharp enough to pierce his fucking throat skin, too.
I'm just saying he's a full-grown man versus a little kid,
He's going to have to use the element of surprise no matter what.
You might as well try, I guess, but...
Right. But Robin tells him to use the phone, fill the receiver with dirt to make it heavier, and then practice these moves over and over again. Raise the phone, take a fast step back, step forward, step back, and swing. And they go through it again, and we see Finn and Robin doing the same moves. Like, dude, why are we dance fighting?
Say, sick training session on how to kill the grabber with a dirt phone.
But I don't get the step back, step forward, step back thing. Like, I do find it interesting, however, that it's just like, so like earlier when Finn was tutoring Robin in math, now Robin is tutoring Finn and kicking ass.
Stupid.
Shut up, you're stupid. And they practiced it a few more times, and I thought it was kind of cool, although maybe not intentional, that Robin with his long dark hair and dark eyes, he kind of looks like Bagul from Sinister.
I was thinking like Nightwolf from fucking Mortal Kombat.
Also that. But it looks like Finn's starting to get the hang of this. And Robin's like, all right, now fill the phone with dirt like I told you. And Finn's like, will I still be able to talk to you? And Robin's like, nah, dog, this is the last call.
Nah, dog.
He goes, you can't make a call on a dirt phone. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, it's going to be a no from me.
And he goes, I miss you, dude. And Robin's like, all right, then get out for me. Use what we gave you. Robin, out. And Robin just kind of fades into the corner. Doesn't get sucked off into it like Vance did. But then we get Finn's Home Alone montage, setting up these booby traps, right? The phone does seem pretty heavy once he packs it with dirt, and he also pulls a cord across the hall as a tripwire. And then he looks up to the window to see that it's now raining. And we cut to Gwen riding her bike out in the rain, rusting up that fucking chain, dude.
Yeah, she's just out looking for this fucking house now.
She starts praying again. She's like, please be real, Jesus. I'm sorry I said you weren't real. Please be real. And she's riding around looking at addresses. Suddenly, all the dead kids are standing in front of her. Lightning crashes, and she falls off her bike because dead Billy, dead Robin, dead Vance, dead Bruce, and dead Griffin are all standing in a line right in front of her. And she looks up and they're gone, of course. But when she stands up, she realizes she's standing in front of the house from her dream. 7741.
It's the fucking house. Holy shit.
She rides away to tell the cops as quick as she can, but they're like, Oh, yes, of course, psychic child. We'll be right over. Thanks for your help.
Yeah, so she calls back, Detective Wright, please. We get a flash of the grabber with, I guess, picking out like a white tarp is what it kind of looks like.
Yeah, he's grabbing a fucking tarp, and that's never
He's
good.
getting something for after
Big tarps are always bad.
Naughty Boy time.
Really, really bad. Yeah, that's cleanup time.
So, like, this is all a quick shot montage, kind of. We have him grabbing a white tarp from the hardware store. We have Max doing lines and checking out the map.
Trying to figure out this goddamn case.
Right. We have the detectives rushing over from the office, and then we flash back to Max. And I kind of like this because Max seems like a dumb shit, but he's staring at the map and realizes... So, according to him, the house has to be within this little section, right?
Yeah.
And he's looking, and he's going,
oh, fuck.
We're right
My
in
house
the
is
middle.
in that little section.
Right. We're right in the middle of that section. And then kind of glances over towards the basement, you know.
How did it never occur to him that the neighborhood that he insisted the grabber must be in is the very one in which he lives?
Right.
Well, I guess he doesn't live there. His brother does.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And then, you know, more quick cut. We get a flash of the van speeding back home. Gwen riding her bike, I'm guessing towards the house, which seems crazy to me too.
Yeah, well, like, we get like an interesting thing going on. Like, I want to point out real quick here that as Max realizes something, I noticed, and I don't know if you noticed, but like, because it feels like just part of the score here, I can understand why somebody wouldn't, or if they're not familiar with the music, but it feels so natural as a part of the score. But the music that's playing right now is On the Run from Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. And it just fits so fucking naturally as the score in this moment. Like, shit's ramping up. Everybody's like on the verge of figuring shit out. And that's a really good choice right there. We also cut back to the grabber tossing the tarp in the van. And he's also got a fucking axe and some bags of lime. Shit is not looking good for Finn.
Right.
And yeah, we see the detective stand up all fast when Wright gets the call from Gwenny. And I think it's so fucking funny how much of their case they're basing off this random little girl who thinks she has visions. Like, turns out she does, but in the real world, the cops would never jump at something like this.
Oh, fuck no.
But yeah, we get a cool, like, crossing of paths, it seems like, because we see the grabber's van drive down the road in one direction, and then Gwen riding her bike in the opposite direction, like, toward each other.
Yeah, they're all
and they are going back to the same destination, yeah.
Right.
So Max walks into the kitchen, he looks at the basement door, and he kind of hesitates to open it, but he's like, no, fuck that.
Hey,
I know it's my brother. Like, he's afraid to find something down there, thus confirming, yes, it's my brother the whole time.
Right.
And Finn hears the stairs creak, and he thinks it's the grabber, so he goes to grab the phone, which is pulsing again. It's gotta fucking stop doing that. I hate that shit. The movie's kind of trippy, dude. But the lights turn on, and Finn sets his pocket rocket on top of the phone. Dude, keep that in your hand and stab this motherfucker in the neck. Along with hitting him with the phone. You know what I mean? Like, but the door opens, Finn's ready, phone in hand. And when the door opens enough to see who it is, he sees that it's Max. And he's like, oh shit, I knew my brother was hiding something from me down here, but holy Mary, mother of God.
Yeah, no fucking way.
Finn asks for help. He's like, call my dad, call my sister. Like, dude, isn't that the same phone number? Nobody had cells yet, obviously. Max says, hey dude, don't worry, my brother's at work. But rather than actually helping right now, Max is too coked up and excited. And he's like, hey, you want to hear the story about how I found you, man?
Right.
No, I want to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we can talk about that later.
Or never at all. I just want to get out of the house. And that's literally it. Please let me go to my house.
Or never.
That's when the door opens a bit more to reveal the grabber behind Max holding that fucking axe, and he buries it into his head.
Yep. Sick, dude.
I will say I don't like the way this kill looks. It's very CGI, not the greatest.
Really? Really?
I wasn't super into it. I mean, Tom Savini did design... I should have looked a little bit more into the practical effects versus CGI, but whatever happened, it didn't look that convincing to me.
Right.
But Max, with the axe sticking out of his head, hey, Paul! He takes a few steps into the room and falls down. And the grabber walks in wearing only the top part of the mask. He's covered in blood. And a whole bunch of cops show up outside, and Gwen is already standing outside. That's a brave little bitch. And Detective Wright tells one of the uniformed officers to stay with her, and they make their way up to the house. Back in the basement, the grabber says, look what you made me do. You made me kill my brother. And he goes, no, it wasn't me. It was the frowny face guy. But he goes, he was an idiot, but he was my idiot. And he says, oh, I'm going to have to put you with the others. Looks like you're going to find those naughty boys after all, bro.
Gross.
And the police start to bang on the door, but nobody seems to hear anything inside, even though the door to the basement is open.
I predict somebody's going to get fired for this one.
Gwen?
No, fucking Miller.
Hey, right. The grabber says, dude, why are you holding that phone? I told you it doesn't work. And he's like, normally I would use a knife, but you are special, Finney. I'm going to take my time. I want this to really hurt. And he calls this huge and terrifying dog downstairs. It's like a big-ass, like Cane Corso or some scary shit.
Yeah, Samson, dude.
He's dragging a chain behind it like it just got done pumping and or eating iron at the junkyard gym. And he drags the dog toward Finney as the cops bust into the door upstairs, but we can see right away that it's not the right house.
Yep, house is fucking empty.
Totally fucking empty. Wrong house. Detective Miller kind of gives Wright a look like, you dumb motherfucker. I told you not to buy into that voodoo girl bullshit. And the grabber chains the dog to the wall, thankfully, and he grabs the axe and comes toward Finney to take a swing. I thought you wanted to make this last a while, dude. That seems like a fast option.
Yeah, I kind of thought that too.
But Finney ducks the swing and runs past the dog and down the hallway, jumping over his tripwire. And he pulls it taut just as the grabber comes down the hall after him, and he trips him, falling through the rug and into the big-ass hole where the grabber breaks his ankle on the grate from the window.
Yeah, oh, God.
And then Finney does that move he and Robin practiced, raise the phone, step back, step forward, step back, and swing. And we see that the step back part was to avoid the grabber's grabbing.
Right. Yes, very true.
Yeah, fucking swing away, Merrill. He repeats the process, and the grabber starts growling at him. Does it a third time, but then the grabber grabs him. Oh, no!
Grabbed him.
And Finney reaches up to pull off his mask, and the grabber freaks out about that. He doesn't like the feeling of, being exposed without his face here.
Right.
He lets go of Finney to cover his face, and Finney starts wailing on this dude with the phone. And then he wraps the cord around his neck and runs behind him to get some good leverage on it. The image of Finney behind the grabber right here calls back to that of Robin flipping Moose over earlier in the movie.
Mm.
And the phone starts to ring, and Finney puts it up to the grabber's ear saying, "It's for you." And we hear Vance say, "Welcome to the nightmare end of your pathetic little life." Griffin laughs and says, "You don't have much time." Everybody's repeating the shit that they already said. Vance says, "Today's the day, motherfucker." Robin chimes in and says, "I can't kill you, you hijo de puta, so Finn's got to do it for me." Which I think is interesting that Robin is the only one that seems to call Finn the whole time, not Finney. Like, he's the only one that saw the man inside him the whole time.
I mean, Robin was the only one that knew his name, too, so.
Oh, well, sure. But finally, Bruce chimes in with, "Finn's arm is mint." And with one more yank on that cord, Finn breaks the grabber's fucking neck, and he sinks down into the hole. One small problem, though. The dog is still standing by the door. No way I'm walking past that fucking thing.
Yeah, he's more terrifying than the fucking killer.
Oh, for sure. And we cut back to the cops, and one of them notices a basement door hidden behind a cabinet. And Finn walks out holding one of those steaks from the freezer and tosses it to the dog to distract him and walks back up the stairs. If this was in the freezer, shouldn't that steak just be a block that we hear clanking on the floor instead of the fucking, like, thawed-out steak that it is?
Yeah, he broke into the freezer and took off the back panel.
Oh, so it's had all that time to thaw out. Okay,
I guess.
I got it. So the cops walk down into the basement of the house they're in and find a bunch of shallow graves down there. This is not the basement Finn is in, but just the one grabber uses to dispose of the bodies. This is very John Wayne Gacy.
Mm-hmm.
5 graves, plus an open one for Finn. They realize he kills him somewhere else, so back to the fucking drawing board, I guess, as far as they're concerned right now. And cut back to Finn. He walks up to the door and puts the combination to undo the lock, and then he walks out of the house across the street like a fucking G. Like, Back in Black should start playing on the soundtrack right here.
Yeah, directly across the fucking street.
But what's this? There's a shit ton of cops out here, and my sister. What the fuck is happening? She runs up to him and gives him a big old hug. And the detectives run out of the house and see the kids across the street, and they run into that house instead. Holy shit.
You can see the van sitting in the fucking driveway.
Yeah, dude. Just right out in the open. Dad finally gets on the scene, and they have a touching moment where he hugs Finn and apologizes to him for being a huge piece of shit to both of them. We cut to the police chief holding a press conference telling the public that the nightmare they've been going through is finally over. They saved the missing Blake kid, and then he passes it over to Detective Wright, who tells everyone the grabber owned 2 homes, one for fucking and stabbing and one for burying.
Yeah, one for killing and one for storing.
But damn, dude, what kind of job did the grabber have to afford 2 houses across the street from each other?
Oh, 1978, dude.
Yeah, a lot easier back then. But you know he's also not doing that on a part-time magician's budget.
Yeah, no shit.
So the school bell rings, and we cut to a much more confident Finn walking through the halls. Everybody's talking about him. Oh, I thought he'd be much bigger. Oh, hey, that's the kid that killed the grabber.
He is the talk of the town.
And he sees the bullies from before, and they kind of shrink back from him, so he smirks a little bit and kind of walks into science class. Sits down next to Donna like, yeah, what's up, bitch? And she says, hi, Finny, and the movie ends with him saying, call me Finn. Roll credits. I do want to point out at the end of these credits, we get a song played at the end of the credits with a message, it goes on. So they were kind of teasing a sequel all the way back then.
Oh, okay.
But fuck yeah, man, what you thinking about this one?
Eh?
I
think the movie was okay.
This was
I feel like that ending was terrible. I mean, I don't know. I get it. Finn's got his confidence now.
What didn't you like about the way that it wrapped up?
It was just very abrupt. I don't know. It's weird. I don't want to say that I wanted more, but...
Well, you're about to get more on
yeah.
October 17th.
Yeah, it was okay. Maybe I'm getting burned out on the supernatural dreaming, shining. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. It happens.
Too many holes for me, I guess. It wasn't a terrible movie by any means. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10, and I'm thinking more for The Mask, really.
Right in the middle just for The Mask.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, a couple loose ends that I want to talk about.
Okay.
Why did Robin know his name, but the other kids didn't? Why are these the worst cops on the face of this fucking planet? How many black vans are rolling around in this fucking town?
Well, for why did Robin know his name? Well, they were friends, actually.
Right.
I don't think he had actually been formally introduced to any of the other kids. He did have the interaction with Bruce Yamada on the baseball field, but they didn't say, hey, my name's Finn, hey, my name's Bruce.
Right. No, not know his name. They didn't know their own name. Because you forget your name after you know what.
They point out, like, yeah, after you die, that's the first thing you lose is your name.
So Robin knew who he was, though.
Well, he was also the one that died the most recently.
That's true. It is true.
But yeah, as far as the black vans around town, I don't know that anyone knew about the involvement with the black vans. They knew about the black balloons, at least the cops did, but not the public.
And then, another good point. Who's buying all these damn black balloons?
Dude.
You know, there's only this one guy comes in.
That would have been my first fucking point as a detective. Okay, we keep finding these goddamn black balloons at every abduction scene.
Right.
Who sells black balloons in the town? Where do you get them from?
Right.
Who do you sell the most balloons to? Oh, the guy that buys 300 at a fucking time?
Right. You know, it was weird. He was wearing this mask when he came in to buy them.
Right. Man, yeah, that shit is wild. There are a couple of things in it, like, yeah, the cops just not being able to find anything on this guy until this little girl says, oh, hey, by the way, I have psychic powers.
Right.
And
kind of goofy.
And whether that's the case or not, like, yeah, when you watch movies, you always wish, like, dude, cops fucking listen to her. And I'm glad that they do, but it's not realistic. Like, in the real world, the cops would not, like, oh, that's nice, sweetie. Okay, we're going to do real cop stuff now.
Yeah, fuck no.
But in terms of, like, I mean, most people seem to disagree about your assessment on that. It's got an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty good. A budget between 16 and 18 million, and netted at the box office over its entire run, 161.4 million.
Yeah, damn.
So, yeah, 10 fucking times the amount of money on it. But released at Fantastic Fest on September 25th, 2021, but wasn't released wide in the U.S. until June 24th, 2022. Stupid COVID, maybe.
Oh, okay.
But it won a Saturn Award for Best Horror Film and a couple of Fangoria Chainsaw Awards for Best Wide Release Film and Best Supporting Performance for Madeline McGraw's portrayal of Gwen. Good job, you fucking fart knockers. It enjoyed a pretty favorable critical reception and inspired another short film from Derrickson you mentioned earlier. Derrickson and Cargill had the short film Dream Kill that was included in the VHS 85 anthology film. Fun fact, apparently Jason Blum had a black rotary phone like this sent to Derrickson before filming began, and eventually it was mounted in his basement and rigged so that every time it's lifted off the hook, it dials Derrickson's cell phone.
Oh, wow.
And thank God it's in his own basement, because how annoying could that get if it was just in Jason Blum's office and he's calling every 20 minutes like, Scott, I just had a great idea. Scott, you coming by the studio today? We got chimichangas and crafty. Scott, is this going to be done anytime soon? We're burning daylight. Scott, have you met Eli Roth?
Nice.
But yeah, Black Phone 2 releasing October 17th, 2025. That's why we wanted to release this around this time with Mason Thames, Madeline McGraw, Jeremy Davies, and Ethan Hawke all returning to reprise their roles, which I guess we got to figure out in what capacity that means for the Grabber, because it seems like he dead as fuck at the end of this.
Right.
We've also got Damian Beecher joining the cast from such horror hits as The Conjuring, The Nun, and Alien Covenant. I think it should be a good time. I give this movie 9.5 out of 10 fart knockers. I really liked this fucking movie, dude. I had a ton of fun with both. Let me rephrase. I both had a ton of fun with this movie and felt like a passenger on an emotional roller coaster. Getting the technical stuff out of the way first, obviously I could rave about the score and cinematography for hours. It was phenomenal. Derrickson really knows how to craft a great piece of film, and the team he puts around himself is on that same level. The score was both haunting and suspenseful, but at the same time, we get some needle drops in here with Free Ride and Fox on the Run.
Right.
That was great. Excellent placement for both. I thought using Dark Side of the Moon was an amazing choice, and it fit right in as a part of the score, so unless you know the album, you'd never know.
Right.
Fan-fucking-tastic. There are a ton of phenomenal shots in here, transitions from the living room down to the basement, for instance. The effects of the phone pulsing at different points, the zoom shot of Gwen running, it's all fantastic. The lighting and color schemes are all on point and does a great job of altering your mood as the audience member. So, filming, editing, sound design, everything is top-notch. And we get down to the meat of the film, and there's a ton of depth here. Like, you could watch it without making connections and just enjoy a well-made serial killer thriller, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many layers to this character of the Grabber and what he represents, further illustrated by that awesome mask from Savini that conveys different moods and emotions. Of course, there are the parallels to the real-life serial killers all over the place as well. And then there's the emotional explorations of things like grief and fear with the missing kids and the families that are looking for them, his friendship with Robin, Finney and Gwen's home life with an abusive alcoholic father, probably due to the fact that the mom chose to check out early. I mean, there are just layers upon layers to this, and it's all handled extremely well. And more proof that Derrickson, Ethan Hawke, and James Ransone should continue doing movies together.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, do yourself a favor, check out this movie in preparation for the sequel coming October 17th. Stream it, buy it, whatever you got to do. Just make sure you check it out and appreciate it for the masterpiece that I believe it to be. My kid loves it, and she's never wrong. So if you don't do it for me, do it for her. But I think that's going to do it for us. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We had a good time. We hope you did too, and we're going to catch you on the flip side, y'all. As always, dreams are fleeting. Only nightmares last forever. Follow your nightmares.
Kill her, Mommy. Kill her.
I bid you welcome.
Thanks for listening to the Cenobites Podcast. If you like what you heard, follow us on our socials at Cenobites Pod on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review. It really goes a long way in helping us reach more listeners.
You can stream the Cenobites on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and many more popular streaming platforms and YouTube.
Questions or comments? Suggestions for future episodes? Contact us at cenobitespod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support the show and help us make it a better product for you, subscribe at cenobitespod.buzzsprout.com.
Until next time, keep following those nightmares.
Jesus, Donnie, language.